Holdsworth. Nick, what is Olaf Scholz then hoping to achieve in his speech to Parliament today, do you think?
Well, the first thing he's going to do is formally explain to Parliament what happened last week when his three-party coalition collapsed. That's been all over the news. He's talked to public broadcasters, but he hasn't actually addressed Parliament formally to tell them how it came about that an argument over finances, the finance minister from the Free Democrat Party, Christian Lindner, saying he wanted to cut social benefits to save money, caused a big row. Scholz sacked Lindner. The Free Democrats then pulled out of the coalition, prompting the collapse of that group and the call for new elections, snap elections in February of next year. So he needs to explain that. And after that, he's likely to lay out his stall for which legislation he would like to get passed before his government formally is dissolved, probably on December the 16th, when there's going to be that vote of confidence in Scholz in Parliament. He will be looking for support from the opposition for measures such as continued support for Ukraine, protection of the Constitutional Court. There are fears here that with the rise of the far right and far left parties, if they hold 30% of the seats in the next Bundestag, that's the German parliament, they could have a veto over appointments to the Constitutional Court. Now, this is the sort of political power that the right-wing parties in Poland and Hungary have employed in recent years to have political leverage, even if they're not fully in power. So that's a concern. There are also some other laws. There's a very popular measure here. It's the Deutschland ticket. It's a flat rate. It'll be 58 euros from January for people to use the trains and public transport throughout Germany. That's very cheap, very popular. It costs the German taxpayer 1.5 billion euros a year. It's unsure whether the opposition will support the continuation of that beyond next year. The Greens are very keen for that to continue, because obviously it means taking people off the roads, out of their private cars and onto public transport, which is all apparently good for the environment.
Nick, it very much seems, doesn't it, like Germany's snap election has already begun, doesn't it? I mean, what does the opposition say?
Well, absolutely, because there's going to be a 2-hour debate after this 30-minute address by Scholz just after lunchtime today. There's going to be a 2-hour debate, and you're going to have the head of the CDU, which is the main opposition party, Friedrich Merz. He's going to be laying out what he expects to do. Basically, this is the starting gun on those elections. Friedrich Merz, who's a millionaire former corporate lawyer, wants to slash taxes, cut social benefits, increase support for the military and for Ukraine. He wants to increase the military budget from 50 to 80 billion a year. And he's also in favour of allowing Ukraine to use longer range weapons such as those Taurus missiles, which there was a big debate over in the last year or so, which Ukraine would be very keen to have, because they could use those to target the bridge connecting the Crimea to the Russian mainland. So it's likely to be quite a heated debate this afternoon.
Nick, thanks so much. Nick Holdsworth, our correspondent, joining us there live from Berlin.